man.
Hey, man, you ready to join the family?
Hey, man, I just want to thank y'all, man. If this happened at 4, man, I'm going to be the highest draft in Cincinnati history, man.
Well, here it is. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right,
hey, man, I'm going to turn you over to Coach Saleh. Hey, man, congrats, man. Welcome to the family.
Appreciate you.
It just made me smile. You know, I was real happy because it made me feel like I was wanted. You know, a lot of people be wanting to go to these teams and want to go to these schools and college, but they don't want you, then there's no point of you being there. So I really felt wanted, not only from the coaching staff and the rest of the organization, but from the fans. You know, the fans, you know, they welcome me with open arms, you know, and I just can't wait to do whatever I can for the community.
There he is, Sauce Gardner, after he was selected by the Jets following the phone call from our next guest, Robert Saleh. And I want to start right there, Coach. First of all, we appreciate your time. We know you're busy. It means a lot to us that you're making yourself available. But when I hear Sauce Gardner say he's happy the fans welcomed him with open arms, I mean, Jets fans aren't bashful about making it known that they're not happy with the pick. Is it a relief for you when you find out that the fans are on board with what you guys have done?
You know what? This one would have been a hard one not to be a fan of. I mean, the kid has got such a great mental makeup. He's got great to me. He's a Detroit kid that's built for New York, and just to have him, and you kind of knew right away that the fans were going to embrace him. He's got an electric personality.
Hey, Robert, you guys had a great draft. Congratulations. I mean, I know you guys have had to take all those compliments of, hey, you won the draft, and it doesn't mean anything until they go out and prove it. But what I am interested in is just your process of evaluating players and the conversation that goes down with Joe Douglas, because it seems like your guys fit your scheme perfectly. And just how involved are you in the process and the conversations with Joe leading up to the draft and ultimately actually making the pick?
You know, I'm giving a lot of credit to Joe D and his staff and the way he runs the entire operation up there for draft. His inclusion with the coaching staff, all the conversations, all the meetings, none of it happens unless Joe wants it to happen. And he is so detailed and covers every single basis. He crosses every T, dots every I. And, you know, I've been fortunate and unfortunate all at the same time. I've been this is my 5th rebuild, being on the front end of a rebuilding situation. And, wherever it's worked, this is the way it's been run, you know, with a general manager in San Francisco, Kyle and John, the cohesiveness between those two. Same thing with John and Pete Carroll at Seattle, their cohesion. So, it's, you know, just being here and just having that ability to work with Joe and his willingness to allow us to have the amount of input he gives us, really gives this organization an opportunity to minimize the risk. You know, when everyone's on the same page with a player, you minimize risk. And so credit to Joe and the way he runs it.
We talked about your 4th pick, the 4th overall pick in the draft in Sauce Gardner. You were back on the clock at 10. And it's good to have choices, but the problem with choices is you eventually got to make a choice. You got 3 receivers that went one after the other. You go Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jamison Williams are there. What sets Garrett Wilson apart from the guys who were drafted immediately after him following the selection of Wilson at 10?
You know, just when you look at his body of work and his body control, his hands, his aggressiveness to the ball, his range to go get the ball, his route running, he felt like he was most pro ready. Had the best body of work in our opinion, and just his character, his mental makeup, all of it, being part of a winning organization, winning university at Ohio State, and on a team full of stars, and you're the stars. So it was, for us, it was an easy decision with Garrett. He was our number 1 receiver, which everyone's going to say when they pick a guy, but I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But regardless, he just, for us, it was an easy pick.
Now, I mean, I think I'm just going to rattle down the first round here. I mean, we might as well just keep, giving you guys a lot of credit here. Third pick in the first round, Jermaine Johnson, Florida State. I as a fan, I'm sitting there going, man, they got Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson. They got their Richard Sherman and their Cliff Averill from Saleh's Seattle defense when he worked there. But just talk about your level of surprise that he was still on the board, and then ultimately like the conversation that goes down with you and Joe to make the move back up and get into the first round and take a player like Jermaine Johnson?
You know, we really in our heart we thought he'd go between 10 and 15, and
right.
Just talking with Joe, we made the decision that if he got to 15, we'd start making phone calls, and right when we got to 15, Joe started making calls, and we finally got it done at 26, and really happy to get him, and I know that it's a long day for those kids, especially in that green room when you're expected to go in a certain spot and you fall where you are, and we're really excited to have him because obviously biasly we feel like our scheme fits him perfectly in what we'd ask him to do with getting off the ball and playing those wide nines and utilizing all that length, speed, and athleticism.
And we hear the stories all the time about a guy who slides and who's upset about it, and he gets a giant chip on his shoulder. From a coaching perspective, you got to like that it's not going to be as difficult to push this guy's buttons because he walks through the door with a stick up his butt. He's ready to go. He's ready to prove people wrong.
Yeah, you know what? He's one thing. The common denominator to every player we selected in this year's draft is they've got a tremendous mental makeup where we feel like they're internally driven. And while I do think he is bothered that he slipped to 26, I think he's got an internal drive that he's able to reset, won't matter, wake up the next morning, find ways to internally get better. And all the way from free agency to this draft class, if you look at all the different names that have come into this building, I think the common denominator is that they're internally driven, and they're not really driven by money or external forces or playing time. They just want to find a way to maximize themselves every day. And I think Jermaine is one of those kids, and he was upset. Trust me, he was upset, and he verbalized it the next day. But at the same time, I think he's wired in a way where at the end of the day it won't matter because he knows what he has to do, and he knows where he has to get if he wants to make something happen out of this league.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.